Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lisa Ann Spencer and today is the end of July garden collaboration. I'm squinting because the sun is in my eye even though it's way over there. It's just really bright out here today. As usual, the end of the month sneaks up on me because I'm so busy all the time, and it's like, how can it be the end of July already? But yeah, here we are. So most of you who follow along with the collaboration know this is something I've participated in for maybe 3 years, if not more. There's a lady in the UK, two ladies in fact, Victoria at Home Educating the Mad Lads and Maria at Maria's, I say that every time because she changed the name of her channel, the Richardsons Simple Living. So those two will be linked in the description below, and then on their garden videos in their description you can see if there's anybody else participating. I think it's been sort of a slow go this year for many people. The weather's been terrible here and elsewhere too. So I'm in Indiana, USA, and I don't think normally it is this humid and hot for so long. Heat is one thing, but humidity is another. So like right now there's heavy clouds, but the sun will be so bright that it'll just burn you up, and then it'll thunderstorm and drop, and half an inch of rain, and then the sun comes right back out, and then it's just steamy. The plants are suffering. I'm discouraged and frustrated because things are dying and things have not done really well this year. So I like to go back and read my garden journals because I can back up to last year and see where I was and how much we've accomplished in a year, and even how much I've accomplished just in this garden season. So I do encourage you all to write what you do in a garden journal because one, it helps you remember, because you won't remember like what you planted and where you planted and what did well and what variety, things like that, but also just projects like I want to do this, I want to do that. And every time you walk outside there's 10 more things to do, but maybe you feel like you only got one thing done. So having a long list, a big overview is very helpful. I like to go back and read mine, late at night, and it is encouraging to me. So just, passing along that little bit of information because I'm passing it to myself because I've been very discouraged. But we're just going to turn around and take a quick tour and see. You're going to see a lot of grass. You're going to see a lot of dead plants. But at the end, I'm going to pop in some snapshots. Today's Thursday. We do market, my daughter and I. Well, my youngest daughter does baked goods and earrings on a Friday night market. So I take tomatoes and whatever produce I have available, which this week is not very much. I have a few green beans and some peppers and things like that, which I've already harvested today. So you'll see snapshots at the end of this video of like inside my house where there's piles of cookies and rows of tomatoes and squash piled up in random areas and things like that. Maria had asked me about doing a how do you get ready for market, prepping for market. There's no way that I could do a video on that because I'm running around, from 8 in the morning till 9:30 at night, just working. Even stopping to make this video is a little challenging, but I wanted to do it because I said I would, and I like to reach out and also to have a video journal of you know, what's happening so I can look at it next year and hopefully be better off next year than what I am this year. Anyway, enough of that. Let's turn around and go for a walk. So as usual, I'm sitting in my swing over here next to my barn. I've got a pretty little sage there. I do cut bundles of herbs. There's oregano, and carry those fresh to market. I have these morning glory vines growing everywhere, which I'm thankful for because I've struggled to grow them for the last couple of years, but none is blooming. This one's growing all up in my citrus tree, so I gave them some bone meal that's high in phosphorus, hoping that that might help them bloom a little. But I've got random potted plants around here, jalapenos. There's some nice looking basil. I'll take some basil to market this week too. There's a different kind of sage. So really my potted plants have been doing good this year. I dug up my Swiss chard and put it in pots here, and I put it in another area of the garden because, let me just go ahead, and this is completely fenced in and the chickens are over here. So this is where my Swiss chard was growing, and I knew they were just going to eat it, so I dug up some. I've got some more plants. Most of these are for me, but some I do take to market. I've been catching strawberries here, if you can see, from my mother's strawberry plants right here. Got a couple of sweet potato plants that's going in my garden. I've started a few things like kale and some herbs. This is mullein, lamb's ear, just these are for market. Got some spearmint and random things. A couple of zinnias. Those are really old and need to be, I don't know, composted or something. Got a few herbs. Just random things here. There's a giant sunflower. That one hasn't bloomed yet. And did you see the sunflower tree in the chicken yard? The goldfinches are just going wild this time of year, and they've been eating up a lot of the sunflowers. I mean, that's way up there. It's really beautiful. It is huge at the bottom. You see the chickens panting? You get between the wires here. It is, like right now, it's not so bad, but then again, it is. So I got this barrel here. I filled it up with hay just to kill the grass. I'm going to fill it up with garden soil and put my asparagus there. Guess I could show those. I will. I've got some really pretty zinnias. And I do cut flowers and make bouquets and sell a few of those at market. That one's beautiful. Love Lies Bleeding. It makes a nice conversation piece and arrangements. Oh, that pink is so gorgeous. So the chickens, you see them back there in the high grass. We just got them in here about 4 days ago. So they are having a hootin' good time out in the grass. There's one, I don't know if you can see, she's completely hidden in the grass. So the flowers are pretty. This one is Cleome. And then there's one inside the chicken run now. I don't think that they'll bother it. It's sticky and has prickles on it. So, but look at the grass. If you could just, it's like knee high. This was my garden, remember? This was, yeah. The grass has grown like crazy. There's another panting chicken. My old sweet pea row. I've got to pull that fence out there. My daughter erects these shade structures for the chickens to have cool places to hang out, which is very nice. So here is the paddock that the chickens were in. It was waist high in grass, so I scythed it just 2 days ago. Let me open this, and I raked it up, and I made a pile of hay. It's not dry yet, but it keeps raining. So this whole area here, oh my goodness, I am going to mow it over as short as I can get it, and I am going to plant it. And I don't know what. All those extra plants that I have over there, I suppose. And then this is a slope, which I will not till, of course, because I don't want the soil to go away. But this is millet. It came from the chicken's grain, the scratch. So it is growing nicely here, and it has made lots of seed heads. So I am just leaving it here to stabilize this slope, and then you flatten out again here. So I will definitely till next to the fence there and plant probably some fall sweet peas. But right now it's just nothing. It's grass is what it is. So out we go, and my row of marigolds is pretty. The sunflowers that I planted, the deer just kept coming by and munching off the heads, and they never, oh, there's a beautiful butterfly. They never did recover, but look, here's a sunflower that's going to bloom, unless a deer comes and eats it tonight. You see a lot of these need to be deadheaded, but it's been too wet because it just keeps raining. And these also have like a fungus on them, which I've never seen before because of the rain and humidity. This is ragweed back here, and yeah, my bees should be on it because they do like ragweed pollen. I had scythed my orchard, but now it is back about 12 inches again. It'll be time for me to scythe it. You can see my bees up on the hill. They're doing all right. They could be doing better. They're having a hard time too. So over here on this side, I scythed, you can see about 3 rows, but then I've got this whole section left. And I've got piles of hay up in the pole barn. I'll just keep going around. I do plan to get goats. I keep saying that. I think like maybe April, but I'm just not sure I'm going to be ready. I got lots to do. Need to build some stalls in my barn and a very secure fence to keep them in. Oh yeah, looky, I see, let me show you this. I planted an elderberry, and it is really, it's doing well. You can't hardly see it for the grass all around it, but it's doing super duper. And ooh, I touched the electric fence. I bet it's grounded out with grass, so it didn't instantly shock me. So here I've got my gourds finally started taking off. Everything seems late, which is so strange. You see all the blooms? Like there's a faded bloom and there's a bloom that's about to open. Oh, see, little baby gourd. But normally by this time of year, I would have like big fruit. But they're running everywhere, and I'm just gonna let them do what they do. See in the background there, you can, oh, these are loofah gourds. It's taken them forever to get some growth, but maybe I'll get some loofahs this year. So my raspberries, they produced. The old canes are dying back. It's produced lots of new canes. That was, you know, I would say it was successful. The season was really, really short, as was the wild blackberries. Oh, here's the muscadine. It's also finally growing a little bit. Let's go in here. This is a nightmare. The grass is so thick and I am having such a hard time keeping it under control. My asparagus looks good. Can you see that in the barrel there? My strawberry bed, like I said, is pretty much completely inundated with grass. So this fall I am going to build a wooden bed structure around it, mulch it really good. That is just a shame. Here's some dill. There is a weed. Oh, here's a big deal. That's a big deal. And then this is so wet down here that I can't get the push mower even. It just bogs down. So it's a nightmare. And then over here, this row of hay is where my squash were. And my squash just kept dying, and I would replant and they would produce a little bit, and then they're just dead. They're dead. My tomatoes have blight. You can see all the dead vines. They're producing a little bit. See, that one looks healthy and green way up top, but down low they're just really... And so down here is a cantaloupe vine or two. You can see there's a few blooms. I mean, if I get a few cantaloupes, that would be super, but we put cardboard down. Can't remember if you saw that in the last video. I think it was a bad idea. I mean, I was able to walk out here and it did keep some of the grass down, but I think all it did was made a home for the stink bugs and see, there's this bug right there. They're just killing everything. And my Romas are dead. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out and see if I can salvage any tomatoes. There is a really beautiful eggplant. It's not ready yet, but I harvested already, which is why there's not much to see. But these little 6 eggplants down here, nothing, worthless. I mean, I have a lot of stuff. Look, there's a lot of green tomatoes. Well, I mean, not a lot, but you know, there's green tomatoes. There's green tomatoes here. They're still coming. It's just death and destruction. The peppers are doing beautifully. This is the Jimmy Nardello. I just harvested a big bunch, so these are the unripe ones. See that? Here's the jalapenos. They're just hanging with fruit. They're very beautiful. Those are the small ones. The bigger ones, bell peppers. I harvested about 6 of those already. Anyway, they're looking good. The cayennes, I harvested every one of them except for just a few because there's something eating them. What eats cayenne? I don't know. This is the little buckshot pepper. It's very heavy laden. These are as hot as a 6-shooter, but I like to grow them because they're a family heirloom. They turn bright red, but they're just not ripening yet. My green beans are hidden in here. They're dying, but that's fine. As bad as they look, and they look bad. Look at all that grass. And I just mowed between the rows like 2 days ago. Yeah, but I mean, they're producing, but they just never seen anything like it. This is a row where there was beets. I dug them. They're in the house. This is some runner beans. They're doing really good. They look healthy. Being up high like that and being up in the air where they can be breezy has really saved them from the damage of the humidity being so high. See, there's a little rattlesnake bean. It's really cute. I already harvested those today too, so you're not going to see any on there. Let's see. There is a bell pepper. Bell peppers. This one's supposed to turn orange. And then this is a sweet pepper of some sort. Same with this one. And on the fence, the little pitiful little beans you see, that's butter beans, lima beans. And they are producing some. I'm not harvesting except after they dry because these are for seeds. I only had about 20 seeds maybe. They're covered in blooms though. But they're very sparse. But I should get seeds and that'll be good because I can save those and maybe have more to plant next year. My broccoli is gone, and in its place, oh, there's some dill. I don't think it'll really do much. But here is okra. And I think it'll still have time enough to produce before fall hits. There's a little watermelon and another watermelon looking good. And then this row also is okra with a couple of watermelons planted here and there. And look at the grass growing around it already. Yep, 2 more watermelons. So this row of grass was my butternut squash and a pumpkin. The pumpkin, like here's one fruit. I just pulled it off this morning. It is in terrible bad shape. It's soft, it's starting to rot. That's like the only one that I got. And I got a couple butternuts and spaghetti squash, but this is going to get mowed down, tilled, and I don't know, plant something else. Oh, look at this beauty. This encourages me. I planted these green beans. I wrote the date in my journal, but it has not been that long ago. And they are gorgeous. So I'm hoping to get a good crop. Yep, look at the little blooms. There'll be beans on there in 2 to 3 weeks. So here's a couple of my Swiss chard that I've moved over here. They're actually looking pretty good. And I think I got zucchini. Don't know if it's gonna make it. This one I planted and it died. An acorn squash and another acorn squash, so hopefully I'll get something. Another Swiss chard, just getting started. I have a row of basil. Finally, it took forever. I kept sowing and nothing would germinate. Random Swiss chards everywhere. Like I said, I dug those up. And then this was also a row of broccoli. And I just filled it up with all these extra cucumber plants that I had. These were market plants. They didn't sell and they were looking really bad, like it was time for the compost. But already they're starting to green up. So maybe I'll get some cucumbers. This is an unknown pumpkin, and I mean, there's the first bloom I've seen on it, and it has been here for months. Oh, look, there's squash bugs. So I'm gonna have to spray that with my organic spray. My kale, which has been so beautiful and doing so well, I pick like 4 big bundles for market, and then I make a whole dehydrator full. Has gotten infested with these, I think they're called harlequin bugs, and they are killing my plants, and they're not producing, they're dying. I've never seen this happen to kale before, so that's very, very discouraging. My Brussels sprouts, same thing. Those little harlequin bugs are all over them. They have basically killed them. I mean, there's little Brussels on there, but this one's doing okay, but all the Brussels opened out. They did not produce. So this one, those are looking good. I may get a harvest off of those, but oh look, they're just terrible. There's a harlequin bug. This is a variety of cabbage that I had never grown before, and it's not heading up. I mean, here's one that's got a little head, but these have been here so long, they're not going to head up, and so I'm just going to have to pull those out. Oh, there's one. It's starting to form a head, so I might get one cabbage for all my effort. Very discouraging. So this row was something a long time ago. What was it? Oh, it was one of my rows of garlic. And by the way, this row of tiny garlic was beautiful. And I used it and sold it and saved some for seeds. And I tilled it and planted basil, peppers. They look so good and green. Dill, basil, dill, more peppers. There's another dill. This row, see, I've got grass clippings all around here. I need to do the same here. But anyway, so we're back to where we started from pretty much. My daughter's little wildflower patch and the peaches. A deer was just out here when I walked out the door. They're standing up and getting what few peaches that there are, and they're all buggy and wormy, even though we sprayed them. There's a pretty marigold. Oh, that's gorgeous. So, I mean, there are some pretty things here and there, but there's a lot of death and destruction. Come here, sunflower. Yeah, you are so pretty. Thank goodness there are some nice things to look at. This is a hyacinth bean. It's just an ornamental. I mean, some people eat them, but you have to prepare them in a certain way because they're poisonous. Over here is a morning glory, and some bug, looks like flea beetles, is just eating it up. But you get up here and it doesn't look bad at all. But there is not a single flower, bud. No flower, no bud, no promise even of a flower. And it's the same with, if you look, we'll walk over here. Well, here's one, and it's struggling because it's in this pot. And it doesn't stay wet enough, but it looks terrible. My husband and daughter just got home from work. Here's another morning glory. And there's no flowers, no sign of a flower. No idea what the deal is. My grape is actually looking pretty good. And the grapes are still green. Can you see? Grapes. But these are Concord, so they're terribly small for Concord, which means that they're struggling too, but they should turn purple, and maybe we'll get to make a little bit of juice or something. All right, that is it.